This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
Why have you unsubscribed from this email? One of the options is I no longer wish to receive this email. Okay, good one.
It's so funny. They do ask, don't they? I get too many emails. This content is no longer relevant to me. I see what they're doing. I see where they're going. But really, it's too much. Just take the rejection and move on.
Yeah, they just need to hone down the options a little bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. This isn't some sort of actual breakup. I don't need to give you a reason.
Right.
It's
not
me,
you, it's
okay?
me.
It's not you, it's me. Actually, no, in that case, it's you. It's definitely you. I'm sick of you. This thing, I'm unsubscribing from you. Shut the hell away from me.
It's not you, it's me. I hate you. That's what the problem is right there.
That's perfect. It's not you, it's me. I hate you.
And clearly that's on me, so let's keep it simple. Okay, the show started now. We'll go with that.
Thank goodness.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, if you're listening to this thing, you should write us a nice review. How about that? Tell your friends about it. You could always call us, 818-570-0753, and you may already be subscribed, but, consider it. She's Emily, I'm Stu, and what a week of terrible torment. I will tell you this. In addition to our week of terrible torment, I was outwitted by Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. There's a story. And podcasting, you don't even really need to do a tease, but I feel a need to do a tease sometimes because I guess I want to say, in addition to all this terrible political talk that we're going to have, there's also going to be some fun stuff in there too. I was outwitted, defeated by Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top.
And I want to make sure that I'm remembering this correctly. But is this the internet chatty chat that you've got going on with this guy and you're still convinced that he's the guy, or is that a different guy?
No, and I don't remember what you're talking about. It was an in-person thing.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'm excited.
Now I want to know about the secret life I have. What is going on there?
You're keeping a secret from yourself.
That's right.
It's like when I put things in safe places.
I better wear a condom. I don't know where I've been. This week, another horrible shooting in Minnesota. And as it was happening, before I saw all the details, I was hoping like maybe this guy was a dick. Maybe he was being really terrible and maybe he caused this because that would make it slightly less terrible. But nope, he was legally carrying a gun. They took it off him and then they just made a conscious decision to murder him. So now we are China. We're like Tiananmen Square. We are tanks rolling over people. We're just more efficient and speedy in our killing is what it comes down to.
It's absolutely horrific that this is happening and that it did happen. And the gentleman's name is Alex Preddy. He was an ICU nurse who took care of our veterans. By all accounts, everybody who knew him said that he was a fantastic human being. And the context for it was he stepped in to put himself between an ICE agent and the woman that the ICE agent was physically abusing, pushing her to the ground, spraying them point blank in the face with pepper spray. It was absolutely horrific to watch, and you couldn't avoid it. It was everywhere, every angle, every video. And I, for the life of me, can't understand how people can watch those videos and then still say, yes, this is what I voted for.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't have been there with a gun. Well, your Republican Party enjoys the Second Amendment and has always touted the Second Amendment. And now when that's not convenient for you, that's changed. Weird how that works. It's like how you have done everything, that the rules apply to everyone except you. You pieces of shit.
It was this morning as we were driving to school to drop off my eldest son, he made a really similar point. He's like, but when Trump stood out there and said, you can't just walk around carrying a gun, you can't just take a gun to a protest, he didn't mean you, everyone. He just means you, the people who disagree with me. He still wants his loyal followers to be carrying guns like they did on January the 6th. He just means anyone who opposes me and who could be a threat to my regime.
And guaranteed, if situations were reversed, they would be saying, okay, we need to see what happened here with the investigation. They wouldn't be immediately going into the news media saying that this guy was a terrorist and that their people had been attacked and just creating a complete massive bullshit narrative like they did. And it is everything we feared and everything that we have talked about for years now. It is the exact terrible thing that this dark society is coming down on us, and we're going to have to fight it. And I kind of feel like this was the start of the Civil War, is how I'm feeling.
It is dark times, and I don't know how much worse it can get, but it really feels like this was always part of the plan. And I don't like being right, but it really feels like the goal is to instigate a civil war, because if that happens, he can declare martial law. And if that happens, he can delay every election for forever.
And that is probably the plan. It's whether or not he gets away with it. It's coming down to, can it get so outrageous that we fight back enough so that he doesn't get away with it? And it may come to fighting and warfare in the streets like it kind of already has. There just hasn't been that much fighting back on our side. And it can get a lot worse. And I don't know that it's what we need, but maybe that's what we need. We definitely need our fucking Democratic lazy-ass leaders to back us up, because they haven't been.
Well, and not only the Democratic leaders, but also the Republicans. This week, they are going to vote on whether or not to extend DHS funding.
Yeah.
The vote should be no. And even if you are in a Republican stronghold, you need to contact your representatives and tell them to vote no to this and to protect your First and Second Amendment rights. Alex Pretty was killed for exercising his First and Second Amendment rights. He did not instigate violence. He didn't do anything. He was just there saying things. He was filming.
He was trying to protect someone.
He was trying to protect someone. And yes, he was carrying a gun that he was permitted to carry. He never reached for it.
And it was not in his possession when they decided to execute him. So there you go.
Exactly. He'd already been disarmed. So fingers crossed there, but now is the time to, if you're feeling helpless, take action. Dedicate all of your spare time to contacting every representative in your state.
As much as I don't like the internet, and I think we should stay away from social media as much as we can, look for all the little posts in there that say, here is the phone number to call your congressman. Here is the phone number to let this person and that person know. Look for that kind of stuff, and then definitely do something, because it does make a difference. I left Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, the biggest fucking voicemail you've ever heard this week, and said, oh, okay, good. Now you guys are doing something about it. Now you're going to try to impeach Kristi Noem. Cool. So many people had to be enslaved or killed before you guys decided to act on this, and that you're going to vote to defund them. That's great. Where were you a year ago when we were bitching at you? Oh, yeah, you were voting to approve the Affordable Care Act again, you fucking dickheads. As much as they're on our side, they're so ineffective and so limp-dicked.
Yeah, it's absolutely diabolical what is happening. But I'm trying to remain positive. But the general vibe, though.
I just had a deja vu. I'm sorry.
But the general vibe is people are scared. And previously, when I was complaining about these sorts of things, my friends, especially my friends who are American but are immigrants, were saying, "Oh, it's going to be okay." Yada yada. No, not anymore. Now they are saying, "I am scared. I am scared for my family. I don't know what to do. We've lost all of our rights." I have friends who are lawyers who are saying, we know our rights. They don't care about anybody's rights anymore, which means we don't have rights anymore.
And if we can't defeat it in the regular, rational way, it's going to come to fighting back into civil war. And that's what it's going to come down to. And it's terrible. And it's all this stuff that we've been talking about for years that wasn't paranoia. It is reality. And that, I think, is hopefully starting to set in with some people, and we'll see.
I hope so. And Republicans are in the best position to get a handle on this. Our elected officials do have the ability to shut all of this shit down. They just need to stand up and do it.
It's very partisan of me to say, but they are completely corrupt. And the only reason they would do that is if they know they're going to lose their ass in the midterms, and they're going to lose their ass in the midterms. So it's whether or not they want to come around and actually decide to do the right thing only because it benefits them.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a common misconception around certain groups that the, extremist left is trying to protect illegal immigrants and is just protesting against good government officials trying to do their jobs. But it is 100% not that. ICE has existed in our country for a really long time. And as an immigrant who came here, I understand the law, and I have no problem with people having to follow the law and there being consequences for going outside the law. But that is not what we are upset about. That is not what we are protesting. We are protesting people being snatched up off the streets, people not being able to exercise their First Amendment rights, people being denied their right to a lawyer and to counsel and to a free trial. We are against the fact that people are just being snatched up. American citizens are being deported or held.
I feel like we maybe shouldn't be enslaving anybody, let alone our own people. It's just one of those wild thoughts I have that it goes against our very core beliefs as a nation. We shouldn't be enslaving people, and especially if they're from our country. I don't know.
Right. However, the prison systems in places like Alabama under Kay Ivey, I believe it's Louisiana as well, they all operate through slave labor. So the gentlemen who are incarcerated, they do slave labor. They don't get paid for any of it, and they do a lot of work. And the prison system, and the state earn money off it.
So when they're looking to do something about any of this, if they do, that's definitely in their consideration.
Yeah, they absolutely should.
I was going to not get into any of the clips in any of this because it's like, okay, what is left to say? But then I saw Jimmy Kimmel the other night, and he had really good things to say. And it was 12 minutes, and I was going to play all 12 minutes, but I am not. I cut it down to like 4:25, and there's a little break in here. And I just thought that this really encapsulates the common sense and ideas that we should have. So here's Jimmy Kimmel from his monologue the other night.
I spent the weekend, like probably a lot of you did, looking at my phone and just feeling shocked and sick about what is happening in Minneapolis. These one video after another, screaming people being torn from their families, Americans, people who were born in the United States being pulled out of their cars for the crime of having an accent or whatever, children, small children, babies being tear gassed, taken into custody, separated from their parents. Just one atrocity after another being committed by this gang of poorly trained, shamefully led, mask-wearing goons. And that is what they are. They're goons committing vile, heartless, and even criminal acts. And it's sickening to watch, and it's frustrating to watch. It's like we're all being forced to play a game that has no rules. They just make up the rules as they go along. We see these videos in which we clearly see one of our fellow Americans executed by ICE, and they won't even admit that it was a mistake. They say the Honda SUV Renee Good was driving was weaponized. They say the gun Alex Preddy had a license to carry in an open carry state. All right, many of these same people screamed very loudly about when it was Kyle Rittenhouse carrying the gun, a gun that Alex Preddy did not even draw, did not touch, a gun that was taken from him by one of the agents before he was shot dead by the other ones. They fired 10 times on an ICU nurse. They're telling us, well, it was justified, Is that the law and order that you voted for if you voted for this? Every day is a nightmare now. My wife and I have family in Minneapolis. They're afraid to take their kids to school. They're afraid to go to work. And I can only imagine how people who aren't white feel about this. How does this end? What's the plan here? Is the plan to just keep doing this in every city that didn't vote for Donald Trump? Does anyone on any side believe this is good leadership? We keep saying we need to find subjects that we can agree on. Can we agree that peaceful protesters including moms driving SUVs on their way back after dropping their 6-year-old off at school, and a nurse who stepped in to protect a woman from harm, don't deserve to be shot dead in the street by the people we are paying to protect us? Can we agree on that? I mean, can we agree that when we see a person murdered in cold blood, that there should at least be an investigation of that? And that our head of, our ironically titled head of Homeland Security has the responsibility to get facts before telling us that what we saw we did not see. I mean, if we can't agree on that, forget it then. This one seems pretty open and shut to me. I think we can agree on this one. It's on video. Look at it. Do your own research. And then once you form your own opinion without being told what you saw, say something. Where are the reasonable voices on the right? I mean, we don't have to agree on everything, but come on. If that was a group of trans swimmers shooting a guy for making a cell phone video, you'd be heating up the electric chairs right now. Admit it, you would. Let's cut the bullshit already, because it may be Fox, but it ain't news.
So then he went on and played a bunch of clips from Fox News and conservative TV news saying that this was a terrorist attack, and then he came back and wrapped it up like this.
Rather than that, I want to leave you with this. The man Stephen Miller referred to as a would-be assassin, Alex Preddy, was an ICU nurse who treated veterans, which is about as patriotic, I think, as it gets. And the video of Alex that I would like you to see, maybe you've seen of this man they called a domestic terrorist, is from 2024, in which Alex honored one of his patients who passed away, a veteran named Terrence Lee Randolph.
Terrence Lee Randolph, March 30th, 1947, December 10th, 2024. Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even sacrifice for it. May we never forget and always remember our brothers and sisters who have served so that we may enjoy the gift of freedom. So in this moment, we remember and give thanks for their dedication and selfless service to our nation in the cause of our freedom. In this solemn hour, we render them our honor and our gratitude.
Alex Preddy, may he rest in peace.
That's how he wrapped it up. And I, for one, like it when he cries. I think it shows a very real human side. And there are people that criticize that. And I just think that that's exactly what we need in this.
Yeah, I don't know what on earth people can find to criticize about somebody crying over what is an absolute tragedy.
Yeah. Well, they say, oh, he cries a lot. He cries at the drop of a hat. Well, he cries at the drop of a hat when it's needed and warranted. And that's what he is. And we need more real people not putting on bullshit acts in our society.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call the murder of someone
right
in broad daylight and cold blood the drop of a hat. It's not spilt milk, friends.
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He cried when his band leader died. He's cried a few different times, but they have been real moments, and to be critical of that is just shitty. So
it's just super shitty.
I would hope Kristi Noem gets impeached. I would hope they're going to finally do it. They're saying they're going to try to do it. Her nickname now on the internet has become Twatsy, which I think is wonderful.
They've started with Bovino, so they've demoted him and moved him out of Minneapolis. But I think that's just the first step, because Trump is now realizing that this is going to hurt him.
Yep.
And so now he's going to try and distance himself from it, and he's going to need people to scapegoat. And so that's what we're going to see in the next little while, is like people being scapegoated for this, like he wasn't complicit.
You are stealing my thoughts. As you were talking, I'm thinking, no, you say what you say. As long as we get to it, I'm happy. I'm just thinking, who's the next scapegoat? And then, yep, you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree.
Yeah, it's just this ridiculous shell game of, I'm going to push the limits as far as I can to see how much I can bully people and take away their rights. And then as soon as people start to push back, or I feel like this might hurt my chances and I start to lose my base, I've gone too far, I'm going to cut the heads off the people that I can pretend were responsible for it while I do a 180 and run in the other direction to see how far I can take it in that direction.
Yeah. Who's going to be my next fall guy? I'm going to see what I can do, and other people will take the fall. And I think she's going to go. I think that asshole Kash Patel is going to go. And I think, who's the other guy? That guy that they sent in to replace Bonvino, Tom Homan. I think he's going to go eventually. And either way, if we have a country left, they're all going to go. It's just, I think maybe that's the order that they go, if I had to guess. Whatever.
I've got something I'm going to read to you, and I want you to guess who wrote it.
Okay.
Terrible things are happening outside. Poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are being torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find that their parents have disappeared.
I would have no idea. I have no creative guess.
That is from Anne Frank's diary.
Oh.
January the 13th, 1943. So if we're wondering where we are on the regular people to full-blown Nazi timeline, that's where we're at. We're at January 13th, 1943.
We should start posting that on the internet with the thing that they do where you can redact that one little part of who said it. And then if you highlight it, you can see who did it. We should do that. And people would go, oh, they're talking about nowadays. And then you can see, oh, yeah, it was Anne Frank. And that's exactly what we're going through. That's a really great point you just brought up there.
I am terrified to know what is going to get worse. Because surely it can't get worse before it gets better.
The only other thing that's bothering me is that I think we may be in danger of this becoming another thoughts and prayers where it happens so often that people just get used to it and, oh, another person died or another person was executed by our government, and it just becomes so normal that people go, oh, thoughts and prayers, no, that sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it. So now I'm just going to be complacent in life and just keep going on because it doesn't affect me. I think that's a real danger, and I think we need to be aware of that.
I think that is a real danger.
We can't normalize this.
We've already normalized school shootings. And when I talk to people who don't live in this country, they find it absolutely unfathomable. But we have, on average, more school shootings than there are days in the year. So I believe it was in 2024, we had something like 366 school shootings. There's only 365 days in the year. It's so big that they don't even put them in newspapers anymore outside of the local area. They don't even make the national news.
Yeah, as you were saying that, it sounded so outrageous in my head because you said we have normalized school shootings. I said, oh my God, how have we? And I'm like, yeah, we totally have. It's just an everyday thing now. And that's the reality if you're a kid, and that's the reality if you're a parent.
Yeah, and I mean, my kids have to have drills very regularly. In fact, my eldest son, he's in middle school. He had a drill last week. They didn't tell anyone it was a drill, though. And so they had a level 3 lockdown, which means active threat on the campus. And that's the day that he discovered that his math teacher carries a gun to school.
Comforting thought, kind of.
In the grand scheme, in terms of people I don't mind carrying a gun, it's this guy. He's a veteran. Like, he knows how to use a gun. But it was just really interesting. We've got these educators out here, and we think that we're just asking them to teach our students. But what's really happening is in moments like that, he is putting all of the kids in safety, and he is putting himself between them and any sort of door or entrance, ready to lay down his life for our children. And we're still having conversations like, should we pay teachers more? And I think the answer is 100% yes, because the job is not what the job was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Now it's like you're a Marine or something if you're teaching. You're in the military if you're teaching.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not just from potential threats like that. Some of the kids that show up to school are awful human beings. And I feel bad saying that about people who are under the age of 18, but they are physically violent. They attack teachers. It's off the chain and out of control.
So once again, death and grief and sorrow and murder, it has happened, and we'll move on and hopefully get better. And the Melania movie is this weekend. You gonna go see that? That'll be good, right?
No.
Not a big bullshit piece? Big fluff nothing?
I don't know if there is anything apart from torture that would make me watch that. I don't want to support them in any way, shape, or form.
You know how you can book seats ahead of time? I went to book seats to see if any had been sold, and I checked a couple theaters, and near me there are people that have already bought tickets for it, and that's just disgusting to me. And it reminds me I live in conservative, shitty Orange County, and I'm among many psychos here. And I think that she is evil, and I think she, like all of them, is evil. I feel like you have a little bit of attitude with her, like she's a rock in a hard place. Is that accurate, or?
No, I don't think that she's in a rock and a hard place. I think she's an educated woman who can make decisions for herself. I just don't necessarily think that she is proactively. I don't think that she got into this wanting to be the first lady. I think that she wanted a sugar daddy, and then she woke up one day and she was the first lady of the United States.
I feel like, okay, but then if you're complicit in evil, you're still complicit in evil, and that's, in my mind, just as good as being a part of the evil. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. But then knowing that that man is evil, how much chance do you think she has of escape?
I think if she can get away, pretty good, because I feel like she could put something out there that says, if I'm killed, here's everything that happened. And if I'm killed, go to the press with this, and you make it known that if she is killed, this is all going out into the press. And it sounds like a weird spy movie, but I think you could handle it that way. And I know that sounds like fantasy, and overcoming that and doing all that would be huge, but also she has like unlimited resources. She's rich as fuck, and she can do just about anything she wants, at least in my perception.
I mean, potentially. It's kind of strange because we keep asking for the Epstein files. And you know what I believe?
We're never going to see them.
Well, that. But do you want to know why, and why I think why?
Go with it.
Okay, so what we know is that all of Epstein's property had hidden cameras in every single room in multiple angles, including the bathrooms. They confiscated hundreds and thousands of hours of videotape that we've never heard nor hide nor hair of, right? I think that Donald Trump is now in possession of those. And the way he is generating his power base is by blackmailing the people that he has this compromise on. There's these compromising things. I think that he is using that now. Just
so
as
the
Jeffrey
reason why
Epstein
half these people are supporting him and not criticizing him and doing the right thing is because he has something on them.
That is my Emily's crazy theory of the day.
It's not a horrible theory. It could be. And even if it's not Epstein directly related, there's probably other stuff that he has on half these people too. And
oh, yeah.
They're corrupt, but also there's been blind allegiance, and maybe we find out one day. It'd be great to die and then come back in 100 years and read the history books on this, or just have the history chip implanted into our brain, because it won't be books at that point.
It would be so fascinating. But I do think that in 50 years from now, they'll be teaching children in schools about this. Maybe not in the United States, but certainly in other countries. They will be pointing to this time in history as one of those things we're supposed to learn from.
And hopefully everybody will have evolved by then. That would be great.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
We live in hope.
So I was at Guitar Center this week, and I was screwing
your happy
around.
Place.
I actually didn't have a horrible experience there, but it was always just the first thing is never right, and the first thing never works. And I was getting a new microphone and all this other stuff, and I drove to one, and I couldn't get done what I needed to get done there. But I look over, and I see what looks like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top walking around with a couple other people. And I'm like, that looks like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. And maybe you don't know him right away off the top of your head when I say Billy Gibbons, but that is a very defined look. It is that beard, and he has the beanie on, and it is a whole thing, except he's much blonder. He's very blonde, and nobody is accosting him. And I'm like, if this is one of the greatest guitar players in the history of our world, there would be people all over him, and the place was packed, and nobody was saying anything to him. And I went to the guy at the register just after he had been to the guy at the register. And I'm looking at him like, do you know who that is? Or are you questioning who that is? And it's some young kid. And he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah. And then I'm walking around and I'm doing stuff and I'm not getting done what I needed to get done because
you're stalking a man in a store. Am I right?
Yeah. And I actually left and came back. I left. I'm going to leave it alone. And I said, no, I want to go see if that's Billy Gibbons. And then two of the people that he was with are standing there, and I kind of stand nearby and I go, sorry to be weird, but is that Billy Gibbons? And they go, uh-huh. And I stupidly said, for sure that's Billy Gibbons? And they went, pretty sure, kind of coyly. And then it took me a second because I'm a genius. And I said, you're the guys in the band, right? And they went, yeah. And I said, do you think it'd be cool if I went and said hi? I want to wait till he's not busy. And yeah, go ahead, whatever. And I said, I'll wait till he's done. I don't want to bother people. I don't like to bother people when they're eating or anything like that. And said, okay, that's cool. And I was talking to them a little bit, and I said, so what are you guys doing here? And they said, oh, we're in town tonight for a show, and we're here trying to buy a sampler because we're going to try and do Manic Mechanic tonight. Manic Mechanic, great song. You want to race? If you insist, at that price, I can't resist. So it's this whole fucking thing, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, oh, Manic Mechanic, great song. And we're talking, and they, I guess, tried to call Guitar Center, and they wouldn't answer the phone because they don't answer the phone for anybody, and they had the same trouble. So they had to come in, and they're trying to get this sampler. So finally, there's like a break in the action, and I walk up, and I said, Mr. Gibbons, can I shake your hand? And he said, $100. And I went, what? And he was, I'm screwing with you. And then he shook my hand. And then I started trying to make awkward conversation. And here's the point I want to get to, other than the fact that it was Billy Gibbons and kind of a cool story. I said, oh, so you're in town doing a show. Are you going to try and do that Manic Mechanic from DeGuelo? Great record. He goes, yeah, 1970. And I said, no, I think it was 80 or 81, wasn't it? And then he just kind of looked at me like, yeah, okay, whatever. Turns out he was right. It was 79 when I looked it up. So I was defeated by Billy Gibbons. He knew his own shit better than I did. And I kind of felt like a douche in that. But overall, it goes back to the thing that we've talked about, that when we do this and I have a microphone in front of my face, I'm okay at this. But when I'm in public, I am just the most awkward person in these situations. And I was trying to make conversation, and he was nice enough. He wasn't a dick with a star attitude or anything like that. He was just very much in that mode of, hey, I'm going to talk to this guy. I said, hey, I did radio forever. And he kind of nodded his head, and you could tell he just wanted to get on and do his thing and get his sampler if he could. It was like when I was hanging out with Rudy Sarzo, a famous bass player, because he was a friend of a friend. I just get to a point where I completely run out of things to say and say stupid shit, and then have this awkward feeling of, well, okay, I guess I'm going to move on now. And then I move on and I feel weird about it. That's what that situation was. He was great. He was fine. It was just like, I don't know what to do now. That is me. Do you ever do that?
No.
Thank you.
But
No,
there's a reason. But there's a reason why I don't do it with famous people. I do it with regular people because I'm a little bit socially awkward. I'll make a joke that nobody gets, or I'll try and make conversation and people won't engage with it in the same way or whatever, and then I'll ruminate about it at a later time. But now, to avoid that, I go in with the plan of getting out.
Oh, forethought.
Yeah. So I don't go in just saying, I'm going to start a conversation or I'm going to do this. I also go in saying, I'm going to go and engage, and then I'm going to evacuate as well. And so I just think about it in my head, and then I have a little get out of jail card and a little phrase. And mine in your situation will be, Well, and I'd probably clap my hands and say, it was really fantastic to meet you. Have a great show. And give them a little salute and get the fuck out of there. And then that way you leave sort of going, well, it's okay to leave things unsaid,
Right.
I think.
I left on a good talking to you. It's just that it had already been made awkward at that point, I felt.
You've got to put the kicks, you got to slow the bicycle and put the kickstand down. You don't wait until you get the death wobbles and then jump off into a bush. Because I think that that's what's happening here.
That is the best weird advice ever. Watch out for the death wobbles. I'm writing that down. Hang on. Avoid death wobbles.
But you know what I mean? Like you go too fast.
Yeah.
The handlebars start to go, and then the tail follows, and the next minute you've ground off half your face on the pavement.
I think I do go too fast. And let me ask you this. When you're going to say something, do you think about what you're going to say, or do you just completely blurt it out when it's processing in your head?
I think it entirely depends on the circumstance. Yeah. As we've talked about many times, most of the things that come out of my mouth are a surprise to me and everyone around me.
Right.
So I don't plan a lot, but I may plan an opener, like a soft opener. But again, we've talked about this too. I daren't approach someone famous. I assume that they don't want to know me. And so I'm less likely to do that. I'm sure I've done it before, especially, I used to manage bands and that kind of stuff. And so I would do that sort of on occasion. But
that's part of it too. I don't want to come off like a complete fan. I want to come off like, hey, I like your stuff and respect you. And I come from that world a little bit and I want to portray that. I don't want to be like, oh, you're that guy. And I know how annoying that can be. And I think sometimes I'm not good at conveying that.
I think it's okay to be a fan though too, because realistically, none of these big artists would be where they are without fans. And I think you are somebody who genuinely respects the art and respects the people. And as illustrated by your story, one of the few people on the planet who still knows who the fuck he is. Because in terms of relevance, ZZ Top did kind of peak. I'd give him the end of the 80s. And then after that, it's like fans and one song. It's just legs, and no one's ever seen the video for it. I mean, I've seen the video for it, but do you know what I mean? No one would actually know what they look like, except for people.
I think they were big enough with the video, and great. Now that you've said that, I can never play them this audio clip, so we're stuck on that. But it's okay. No, but I think a different generation, my generation, would spot him right away because of
I agree.
all the videos that they did on MTV. And they almost, when they hit big with that Eliminator record, had almost a cartoon kind of image where they were like these mystical guys that appeared and did the weird thing with the hand and all that. Eliminator was a great record, and then they got really synthesized and kind of went away from things, and then they came back to the blues and did more of that and more authentic stuff. And everything before Eliminator is an incredible record. If you want to listen to great music, go listen to old ZZ Top. The DeGuelo record especially is just unbelievable and great. And he's still doing good stuff nowadays. I guess he's got a blues band and they're kind of playing rock and blues music. And so I don't know. It's all just weird. I never want to come across as too much of a fan. And I think I'm always looking for that Ronnie Dio experience where I got to hang out with him and be buddies, and that's a weird thing to me. And also, it's not even a star thing. I am just that way with people. I'm like, okay, we're talking now, and what do I say to get out of this? And now I have nothing left to say, and we're going to move on, I guess. Okay, whatever, and it feels awkward. And that's me, I think.
Well, I think you can own it as well. I say this sort of thing. It may not work for you, but it's kind of self-deprecating. All right, cool. I'm going to leave before I make this weird.
Oh, that's pretty good. Because then you can't fuck it up. Even if it becomes weird, you've already said that.
Exactly. You've already signaled.
Yeah.
You've already signaled the fact that you are likely, that this shit's likely to get weird. Hey, I
and
don't
then
want
if they come find you, it does.
Hopefully.
Yeah, there you go.
And then permission to weird out.
Yeah.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, who knows? But I'm really glad that you got to meet him. And when I was saying that I don't think that they're relevant, I just mean that they were of a time. Do you know what I mean? It's
No,
like
and I get you. And even if you thought they weren't
everyone.
relevant, that's your opinion, and you're allowed it on this show. You don't have to
Yeah.
explain yourself.
Yeah, but I can think of others that would just be like completely non-existent. You know, they don't have a legacy. They disappeared as fast as they appeared. That's different to these guys. It's a generational thing, and I think popular music preference also transitioned around that time, particularly the 90s. I feel like the 90s was like this huge shifting.
Yeah. Well, that was grunge and...
Yeah, so we went through grunge, and then pop like really took off, like more than rock. Like if you go to these rock stations or like classic rock and all of that kind of stuff, most of it is 70s and 80s and like some 90s.
Yeah, and there's very few classic rock stations left anymore, and that's kind of because they're left becoming oldies stations. There's a classic rock station in town that is starting to become a jack format. The jack format is we play so much of everything, and I hear these songs on this classic rock station. I'm like, oh, they're trying to become a jack station, and they're playing stuff you would never dream of, like fucking Toto. God, I hate Toto. And it's just
You do.
And let me tell you this, radio. God damn it. Can you please stop playing Red Hot Chili Peppers Under the Bridge? Whether you're a rock station or an alt rock station, Under the Bridge is the stairway to heaven of radio at this point. We've heard it enough. We never need to hear it again. I hear it nearly every day I get in my goddamn car. It just needs to stop. It's not a bad song. It's just done.
No, it's not a bad song. I agree. 10 points, 100%. Oh, guess what interesting, what I would define as like a classic rock song I heard the other day outside the grocery store that most people would probably not recognize.
Yeah.
Roundabout by Yes.
Oh, great song.
It was awesome. Actually, my son and I hung out outside for a little bit longer so we could funk out to that before we went inside to get our groceries.
I'll tell you this awkward moment.
Yeah.
I played that on my last date. We were out driving around, just doing stupid shit, looking for stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a roundabout in this little city area.
Yep.
Where you can go to get where you need to go to. And I was like, hey, let's go over to that park. And she's like, okay. And there's a roundabout. So I, clever as I am, bring up on my phone Roundabout by Yes. And I play it. And that's old music. It's old even for me. It was before my time.
Yeah.
And so we go Roundabout, and she just kind of was looking at me blankly, like didn't even get the joke. And I was like, okay, here's another moment where I feel awkward. And I'm like, come on, Roundabout, let's go. We're having fun. And she's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Here, there's an example of what I'm talking about. It's that sort of thing, Roundabout.
One, that is pretty funny, but only, like I always tell my kids, right? It's only fun if both people are having fun.
Right.
And it's not if the other person feels like they might be in a hostage situation. The part that you left out of this story.
I loosened her handcuffs. I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that you kept driving around and around the roundabout, right? Multiple times.
A couple times.
Okay, great. Just so we got that out there. But I think that's a good joke. And I actually feel sorry for her that she didn't get it. She's probably never heard that song. That's what I'm thinking. It's a bit niche.
She wasn't hugely younger than me. She was a tiny bit younger than me. And it's like, oh, come on, Roundabout. We're on a roundabout. See how fun that is? I just found the song. Look at me.
Yeah. It is a bit niche. It's a bit, and your musical taste can tend niche, I would say.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just going to be hard to find people who are ready to match your freak on the first date on the roundabout front. You might want to keep that one Keep the powder on that one dry.
Well, we went to have dinner at a Hare Krishna temple, so what do you expect? There's a Hare Krishna temple near me, and for years growing up, decades and decades, it has always been that, yeah, they're kind of religious freaks, but if you go there for dinner, it's actually very good. And we decided that's where we were going to go for dinner. I don't think I was the one to even bring it up. I think she brought it up. She said, "Oh, I've always heard." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go." The problem is that to go there for free dinner, you have to go in and take off your shoes and sit on the floor and listen to like 3 hours of their bullshit religious stuff and go through all of that, and they still haven't gotten to dinner. And then she said, "I'm getting hungry." I said, "Yeah, me too. Let's go." So we just got up in the middle of it and walked out. So that was a thwarted Hare Krishna dinner attempt before the Roundabout event. So, you know.
That's amazing. So you tried to crack the Roundabout joke on a starvacious woman. I love that.
No, we went and had nachos. It wasn't the good wholesome dinner we were hoping for. And the experience.
The wholesome veggie dinner. But that's really fun in a sense that I don't know if you'd expect like to go to dinner with the Mormons or dinner with Jehovah's Witnesses and not expect that they're going to try to convert you.
Oh, I expected it. I just didn't think it would be 2 hours. 3 hours maybe. It went on forever. We're like, oh my God, is this going to end ever?
These people are in it for the long game.
Yeah.
Like the Jehovah's Witnesses, they'll come to your house every week for Bible study for years until they wear you down.
Those must be the people calling me. I am getting so many spam calls now. It's unbelievable, one after another. And I don't know how it started all of a sudden. I'm convinced Trump is to blame. They're probably not regulating any of that. And it's that fucking corrupt FCC guy that's probably not doing any work on that is probably where we're at with that kind of thing.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this philosophical question. Are the monkeys real, Emily? Are the monkeys real?
The ones that rip people's faces off and eat them, or just other monkeys?
Well, we don't know. There's a big thing going on in St. Louis where they don't know if the monkeys are real. I have this story for you.
It started as a neighborhood sighting of 4 vervant monkeys near O'Fallon Park in North St. Louis and quickly turned into a full-blown phenomenon.
Are we 100% sure the monkeys are real?
We have had one verified sighting by a St. Louis police officer that verified the location of one monkey.
By the way, I think all press conferences should include the phrase, "Are we 100% sure the monkeys are real?"
Crown Candy Kitchen even joined the fun, selling solid chocolate monkeys. But behind the laughs, a serious question lingered. Are the monkey sightings real? The St. Louis Health Department says AI-generated photos flooding social media actually made it harder to track credible sightings and ultimately led them to call off the active search. We even Google reverse image searched all 4 original photos and nothing came back. That's when we took them to Abby Stilianu, an AI researcher and professor at St. Louis University.
Do you think these photos are real or not?
I don't know.
Way to commit, Abby. You're an expert. Come on, God damn it.
And I think this really captures what's hard about AI-generated imagery, because we can't make decisions about whether things are real or not just by looking at the pictures and the videos anymore.
This image isn't obviously fake. There aren't any really obvious cues that this is necessarily a fake image. Now, what's really hard today is that it's not a year ago. These tools are so good today at generating images that this could absolutely look real and still be fake.
So what about the monkeys themselves? We asked Dr. Doug Pernikoff, an exotic animal veterinarian who says vervet monkeys are tropical animals and would—
Dr. Doug, he's an animal expert.
—struggle to survive our recent cold.
Well, I think it was probably real from everything I've heard secondhand. But yeah, I think that they would have a really difficult time surviving in these evenings. If the animals haven't been seen recently since Friday, in my mind, there's a good chance whoever owns them has recovered some.
So Mike and Kelly, even the experts can't agree. The AI researcher says the photos could be real or fake, and the exotic animal vet is convinced the monkeys were real but scooped back up by their owner. So I have to ask, what do you guys think?
I'm very skeptical, I have to say. I mean, if the AI researcher can't really tell, And that police officer who supposedly said they saw that, we haven't heard from that police officer again. So I'd say I'm skeptical.
I agree.
Way to not
I'm
commit.
a skeptic.
Yeah, well, at least you have.
But at least you get chocolate monkeys out of it.
Yeah, you guys will have to take a bite out of this later on.
And it's getting a lot of play all over the country and on late night television.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think the story's going to go on for a while. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Megan.
Oh, I always love that last part there. So monkeys are the new Bigfoot in St. Louis. They've got that going. And I love this. I think it's great that news is so vapid and doesn't research that they're screwing with them.
I hope that the monkeys are real. And I was really interested to see where Doug went with that because he started out strong with they're tropical animals. They probably couldn't survive the cold nights we've had. And then he really gave it the Disney treatment at the end there, which
His
is
brain kicked in and went, can't give a real opinion.
Exactly. And he's like, so hopefully they've been scooped up and recovered. No, Doug. What you were going to say is they have fallen out of trees, dead as little doornails with their icicle-laden faces because they have died in this miserable fucking cold. That's what you wanted to say, Doug.
If they exist, but Doug can't do that because then he'll get yelled at by a news director for having a real opinion. And if they're going to make them have real opinions, they shouldn't get yelled at, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like that too. I am constantly amazed at the amazing menagerie that we have across this beautiful country of weird and wonderful animals that people choose to keep in their homes.
Weird ones like tigers and stuff. What the hell?
Tigers.
Have a crocodile.
Kangaroos.
Perfect theming.
I shit thee not. There are states where you can own kangaroos. For the life of me, I don't know where you would find one. I mean, I occasionally see some in zoos and whatnot. But yeah, different types of monkeys. Obviously, snakes and spiders and everything, scorpions. But what's next? A dolphin in a pool?
Well, you've got to have something to point out to your friends so that you look important, so you look like a freak with a weird animal. That's the thing nowadays. Look at my tattoo and, oh yeah, my dolphin in the pool.
People get attacked by the strangest things, though, don't you think? How weird would you feel if you went over to someone's house? And
weird,
they're like,
right? Just that alone, totally weird.
Just that alone.
I don't want to do that.
Weird. Don't want to do that. But they had some sort of bizarro exotic animal, even something like a giant macaw parrot that's just out and flapping would do it for me. Like, I love birds. I think they're beautiful. But those beautiful exotic birds like toucan and stuff, they shouldn't be in cages. They should be free. And
I feel like, why would you ever want a bird in your house? They're noisy and annoying. And at their base, I don't dislike them. But when they're noisy and annoying, I don't want them around. And why put one 3 feet away from you?
Also, birds can fly, generally speaking. And they just fly around and shit on everything.
Right.
If they are free to just go wherever they want, they just poop everywhere. And that's gross.
Yep. I had a roommate one time that had rats, and he used to let them roam all over, and they would shit, and you'd find little rat shits everywhere. That was not a good experience.
That is, I couldn't imagine you doing that.
Yeah. And I didn't. He wanted to get a snake. I told him, fuck your snake. You're not living here if you have a snake. Oh, I hate snakes.
I'm a snake. Speaking about snakes.
Yeah.
I recently installed a parental monitoring piece of software on all of my children's electronic devices.
Yeah.
Not because I don't trust them. They're fine. But I want to keep an eye out in this age as they get older about, you know, depression or suicidal type text messages or anything like that.
Anything weird.
Anything weird. If a contact adds them, that seems a little bit weird. If their friends are asking them to do anything, right? I don't want to invade their privacy though. That's like super important. And this thing is so sensitive. It sends me a notification for like every time one of the kids swears in a chat. I'm like, I don't give a shit. And then every time they send a meme or an image, it flags it as potential sexual content. not because of what's in it, but I have opened it up, like these pictures. And when the first day I was like, oh my God. And then so I started opening and it's like Pokemon. And then there's the first one I opened, which was potential sexual content, was just a massive purple snake. And I was like, okay, I see how this could be confusing.
Right.
But then over time, there were all of these more Pokemon that kept coming through, and they could not be mistaken for any sort of genitalia whatsoever. It's just any picture that gets sent, they ask me to review it. I am so sick of that fucking tool within 2 days and I don't know how to turn down the sensitivity. I don't care about
the other
Pokemon.
question is that alert, that Pokemon, was it called Dicky Boo Boo?
No,
because that's a tip off right there of what they're really going for.
It was called Massive Cockosaurus.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, you might want to be concerned.
No, but they're even named innocuous things, and they're just any sort of anime is flagged as potential sexual content. They've gone too far. It's ridiculous.
Better to go too far than not far enough. Then we'll have ourselves a lawsuit. Some parent will sue us when their kid gets molested.
It's probably true. Yeah. And I think warning out there for parents, it's happened again. Some kid, 15-year-old kid, New Jersey boy, traveled to New York City, last seen at Grand Central Station because he met somebody on Roblox and then decided to go and meet them, disappeared.
Yeah, if your kid's that into Roblox and they're spending a bunch of time, keep an eye on them. That makes sense if you're not aware of it already, you know?
How can a kid get on? I don't know. I really feel sorry for his parents, and it's happening more and more. Turn off the ability to chat in Roblox. Don't let your kids meet people on Roblox.
I like the thought of turn off the screens. That's becoming a trend more and more more parents are doing. And I think completely turning off screens and making them do something else is a good way to go if you can manage that. I can easily say it because I'm not a parent. I don't have to worry. So
I read a lot on this, and then I decided to run an experiment in my own home. There are studies that show that excessive screen time, or just any screen time for kids, it can lead to changes in their mood swings. It's addictive, like cocaine. And when you remove it, they have withdrawals, rage, all of this sort of stuff, right? So my husband and I decided to really cut back on it and actually do a digital detox for a few days. They were completely different people. And so I know it works. Now they're back on the screens. But if they're having mental health challenges, or they're depressed, or they're angry or whatever, take those screens away, and then within 2 days, they'll be back to being normal human beings again.
And how great would it be if we as a society could all do that, not just kids? I think we would all benefit from that. And I try to do it, but I'm not always great at it. So, yeah.
Me too. There's a little thing, maybe I'll get it for you for Christmas. But what it is, it's a little terrarium. It's got a little plant in it, and it needs the light for the plant to live. But the light will only turn on when you put your phone inside the little phone slot. So if you are on your phone too much, your little guy will die.
It's a regulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't ever be bad enough that I need that. Like if I've gotten that bad, then I just need to end it all. Just end it all.
But lots of people are that bad.
Yeah.
It's insane. And they're that bad in front of their kids, and it's challenging the parent-child relationship as well. The amount of times like I go to the park or something, and I'm obviously watching my kids because I've got one of the most accident-prone numbskulls ever to grace the face of the planet. So I've got to watch him like a fucking hawk lest he trip over and end up with, gates up his nose or something other deplorably impossible. And the parents aren't watching their kids. They don't watch their kids. They're just on their phone. If I wanted to go and collect some kids like Pokemon, I'd just have to go to the local park. You just scoop them up and walk away.
Hey, I've got Roblox over here. Want to come play? Want to come see this puppy? I've got a puppy over here. Come look at it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't even have to. Some of these kids are trying to take themselves home just walking to the parking lot without their parents because their parents are just doing something else. And now I feel sorry for those parents too, because parenting is hard. It can be exhausting. It's also can be boring. I understand it. I'm not saying anything bad about these parents, not casting judgment on them in any way, shape, or form. It's just...
I am, because I feel like if you're not going to take care of a kid, you shouldn't have a kid, and you should definitely consider that. And I feel like there are not enough abortions in our world.
Yes. Did you know that the government is now going to pay people $1,000 for every child that they have between 2025 and 2028? We did this in Australia. We called it the baby bonus.
Yeah.
And the amount of just scumbags who had kids just to get a big screen TV was staggering.
It's kind of like a weird form of welfare if you think about it, which they're against. So I don't know how that's happening.
It is really weird. And I mean, if you're already going to have kids, it would be, that $1,000 bonus would be good. But anybody who has a child to get the $1,000 arguably is not the person you want to be having children.
And probably they're going to be on that welfare, which you fight against to have to pay to people to begin with. So you're kind of negating your own purpose. You're creating a negative for your alleged positive.
I tell you what,
God
I'm
damn
pro-choice.
it, we are smart.
We are smart. I'm pro-choice, as we know. But I'm also pro-life in the sense that after a child is born, you should take care of it.
Yep.
You have to. And the government, if they are going to be encouraging us to flood the world with potentially unwanted, disabled babies with all of these abortion bans, then they'd want to be in a position to make significant investments in their healthcare, taking their education, taking care of these little humans. But they don't.
Agreed. We can end it there. Because right about now, I'm going to be putting the show together and going, God, I'm tired of listening to this. So that is usually about the time I figure we should go. You've been a delight. You've been fun. Everybody have a wonderful week. And we'll see what kind of mayhem and torment we have to talk about next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.
You want to race? If you insist. At that price I can't